Hey, hi, this is Deepak here. In this video, I'm going to talk about what are the important concepts related to about using the important technologies that are used within the cloud formation, or I would rather explain the different processes, different types, different activities that are involved in deploying and set of resources, how you will create a set of resources that you need in your AWS using CloudFormation. There are some steps involved, we'll go through it. So first of all, the first step is we need to create our template. As I explained in my previous video, I explained what is a template. So first step is we need to create a particular template. So that is the first step. The template can either be in a JSON format or in another file format, another format known as YAML format. So let me show you what I mean by that. So this is called an let me zoom if it is possible to zoom in. Okay. So the one way is to create the template. We can create in what is called a YAML format. YAML format is basically a way, a technique in which we can define the data in a file or steps in a file in a format which is easier to understand. We can understand what like the way in which we are defining the data. So that is a very important uh, file structure that we use. Uh, the structure called YAML is used. So how we basically define is we will define in the form of key pair, and each key can have multiple key and pairs. So this is a structure. So let us understand. So I have in this YAML, I have one key called the AWS template version. So this is my key, and the value is always mentioned. Like the value could either be a list of values or it could be a string. So if you mention it as a string, first just put a colon, then after that should be one space, and after that you mention the value. Okay. Next, in case this has its own set of values. So for example, let me say, so I'm just making a new template here. So let me say if I want this particular key to have more values, let's say for example, name is a key, and if name has got say more values, this is not my real information, just some dummy information I'm putting across. Okay, so here I have a name as an key that I want to enter some value. For the name there are multiple keys, and multiple keys are there, and each key has its own values: the first name, last name, date of birth. In case I have a list of values I need to enter, so it will be like this. I have three hobbies of mine. I'm mentioning three hobbies. So how I mention it uh, as multiple values, just you put this, first you put this dash or hyphen space followed by this. So like this, This is the way you define a YAML format. And so our template can be in YAML, or it could be in a JSON format. So there are two options. Okay, so you can then, so you once you create your template, you can then upload your template. You can put your template either in S3 bucket, or you can put in S3, or you can probably, if you want, you can upload the template from your local machine and can do that. That is another option. There are basically these two options. If you do it from your own machine, you upload it, then the system will basically take your file and put it in S3, and then it will start uh, working on it. So once you define your template and once you do it and you upload in S3, then the next step is cloud will create a stack. A cloud formation will validate. You can pass parameters to your stack based on whatever you parameters you have set up, and then cloud formation will validate your stack. It will check whether stack is valid or not, whether there are any issues, whether there are like your input parameters, whether if you pass parameters, whether the parameters names are correct, whether your validation for your parameters is satisfied, like the, say for example, say the minimum length and max length of say some parameter you have specified, and if you specify data which is more than the maximum character length, it will error out. So those kind of validations, and once it's validated, then a stack creation process is initiated. And when the stack process starts up, then you cannot I mean you cannot uh, um, so like what I mean to say is, when the stack creation is started, then it will create all the dependencies that is needed, and then it will create all the resources. So in your template, you will specify resources, like in case you want to create some EC2 machines, in case you want to create, right? Then say your first step is you want to create a security group for your EC2 machines, and once the security group is created, after the security group is made, you will then start creating your EC2 instances. You will create your EC2 instances and refer to that security group. So that is a dependency. So there's a resource called security group first to be created, followed by the EC2 instance. Now, what is security group EC2? You will like to possibly check my other videos and in my YouTube playlist. So like this, the stack, the cloud formation will create all the necessary resources, whatever resources are needed, all of them are created as per definition in the template. And you can use this stack to update new things, or to update the stack, or you can delete the stack, and all its associated resources are deleted accordingly. So this is for the process of using the cloud formation. So this is a process. And there's another concept which I suppose it was recently introduced in cloud formation, which is called change sets. We'll have practical on this as well, but in this video, I'm only covering the theoretical aspects. So I'm covering only theoretical aspects. So change set is basically an method through which you say you have created a stack, like you have some EC2 instances created, some security group created, and say some other things you have created, and then you want to change the stack. Say you want to update it, say you want to, I would say, like you are creating some more EC2 machines, you are adding some more parameters, updating some input parameters, and then you don't want to apply the change directly. You want to have a place, you want to check whether, or you want to have a look at all the changes that you are going to make. You want to check that, and once you are satisfied with all the changes you're gonna make, then you go on and make the changes. So you so like this, and if you like this, there is a process given by the cloud formation to migrate the changes. And you can also, if you're not satisfied with the changes that it will create, you can stop making the changes. So this is the offering from change set functionality in the cloud formation. So also basically you can, permissions can also are required. So when cloud formation creates all these resources like an S3, say an S3 bucket or a security group or other resources, when cloud formation does that, it needs it needs all the permissions to create it. It needs the necessary security levels. So you need to have to create your cloud formation user such a way that it has all the necessary permissions. All the permissions should be present. So that's all in this video. I'll create more videos on cloud formation that's coming next. Okay, thank you. Bye.